Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are in a bit of an economic crisis here that was primarily caused by Britain's war with Egypt, but exacerbated by our civil war. There's no doubt about that, but I did just notice going through this and taking a look at what options we had, that a number of our production methods got messed up, and I think this was due to the Civil War. We can definitely grab some steel tools here. 8.13k just from that. This isn't usually strictly comparable directly to the balance, but that alone in theory would do quite a lot. The water tube boiler would be a reduction, but I still want to do it for right now. Vacuum evaporation sounds great. And water tube boilers, again, a reduction. And that's because of our lack of coal. Right? Yeah, definitely, because of our lack of coal. We have no domestically produced coal, and so we're reliant entirely on the British market for that. Now, market squares would be a decent increase. Gas streetlights would be pretty good too. Again, that's going to hurt coal, but we can look at this and we can see it's not going to change the price that much because we're in the British market. So for now, that seems okay. We should also be on filing cabinets. That's actually going to generate us a lot of additional taxation capacity. And I want to take a look here. That was about half of our unrealized taxes. So we don't need 12 in Amhara. That's for sure. We actually need 2 here at 10 capacity each. 95, we still need 10 in Gondar. Okay, but that's Amhara largely fixed. So that does help our situation by about half. So that's a good sign. Now, we were moving towards getting positive with our construction paused here, but we weren't quite there yet. Checking on these prices here. Yeah, paper is a fair amount of it, but really, the majority of our expenditure is on wages. Which isn't surprising, considering that we've invested pretty heavily in our universities. So I think for now, we're going to tick forward and see where we're at financially. Minus about 5k. Okay. This was getting better last episode. We'll see if that's true. We'd love to be able to construct here. Market access, yeah, coal is expensive. I wish we had access to coal. That would be amazing if we did, but alas, we do not. There are some logging camps that we can build in Equatoria. I'll queue those up at the bottom of our list, assuming we survive long enough to get there. Our interest is definitely a problem. Is there a bankruptcy system in this game? I think there is. Hang on. I'm going to... We're not going to try to declare bankruptcy, but... Or rather, we're going to try not to declare bankruptcy, but I want to see what the... Yeah, we have to be in default to do that. Okay, so that's a long ways away. Default is a very, very long ways away. So, all buildings in the construction queue will be canceled. Okay. Buildings will have their entire cash reserves wiped out. A whole bunch of more radicalism due to owning shares. And then we lose half of our prestige. We get a 50% loan interest rate, minus 75% construction efficiency for 10 years. 100% radicals, and minus 50% offense and defense. That is an incredibly bad thing. Okay, so it's obviously that we don't want to declare bankruptcy, right? We know this. We already knew this. And that's a long ways away. So I don't think that's, strictly speaking, going to be a thing. We're working on banning slavery right now. It'll be interesting to see what that does to our economy. I legitimately don't know, because our current slaves will become taxpayers, right? But at the same time, prices of things will go up somewhat. Oil in Eastern New Guinea? Okay. We're at minus 4k now, so this is definitely trending towards the correct direction. All of our construction in our private construction here is being funded from our investment pool, so that's not a concern. But this is definitely trending the right direction. So for now, this is okay. We're just in an economic crisis, just caused by multiple things happening at the same time. It's not shocking, and it should be okay. We should be able to handle it. Our main issue right now is definitely coal. We might want to back off on production methods that pull in coal. So let's see. Craftsman sewing would actually be good here, wouldn't it? Yes. Which of these actually utilize coal? furniture manufacturers do due to this. So we can go back to hand assembly here. That makes sense for now. We may switch that later. Same with tooling workshops and paper mills and even steel mills for right now, and motor industries. We have a motor industry. I'm always surprised by that. I shouldn't be, but I am. And that looks good. So that's going to back off on our coal requirements. Actually, we can definitely do soil enriching farming for our millet farms and intensive grazing ranches. That's going to get us a fair amount of additional money in theory there. So now the question is, what is our actual consumption of coal? Do we have anything that consumes coal at this moment? Potentially. Yes, we would have the street lighting. And also chemical plants are consuming coal. I think this is fine. Explosives we know have been having a shortage, but I do think we should drop our gas streetlights. That is technically still profitable. Okay. Let's see what it's like with those production methods backed off on. 3.08K. 2.68. That's definitely an improvement. It'll likely take some time to see the full effects from that. And yeah, coal is still expensive. That's not shocking. Enact public schools political movement. We want to do that. Hopefully slavery passes very, very shortly here and we can enact public schools. That would be amazing. 1.78K. 1.43. It went back up. Okay. An electricity shortage in the British market. What's the British market? The British market. Interesting. So I definitely do want to enact public schools. Who is behind this? No supporting interest groups, but 23% support and 32 radicalism. Interesting. As soon as we ban slavery, we're very interested in enacting public schools. Only 1,000 at this point. Beautiful. I think we're going to go positive here quite soon. The real question is, as this Glassworks finishes up, the real question is, what is enacting slavery going to do to this balance? It's going to be very interesting. We do have unemployment and peasants. So we're probably going to have a bunch of peasants out of it, is what I would expect. But hey, that's a positive number. And it's continuing to tick upward. I love it. So, of course, we need to pay off our debt, right? We have a pretty hefty debt, but we're barely making money at this point. We're currently working on Central Archives. We're 10 weeks out from that. That is going to allow us to back off on our government administration constructions, actually in both Amhara and in Gondar, by at least 2. So something like that. Beautiful. This didn't pass? Unfortunate. I was really hoping that it would. We're just going to get the enactment success chance here. Because I was really hoping to get public schools going. That would have been amazing. Unfortunately, it did not happen, so we need to continue to work on passing the banning of slavery. How are we doing on our GDP? Number 10 worldwide still? Actually, considering our economic woes, I'm kind of impressed by that, to be honest. So 1.0K at this point. I like it. We're slowly, very slowly, working on paying off our debt. This will, of course, be a debt snowball. The more debt we pay off, the less interest we're going to pay. And therefore, the more we're going to be making, and so the more we pay off, and the more we pay off up here, and the more we get back in terms of interest. It'll be exponential. So that's great. And we're already seeing that. We're up to 2K now. What would we be at if we were constructing? We're not going to actually be constructing this week. I just want to see. Minus 48.9. That is almost equivalent to our interest. Okay, beautiful. It probably will be equivalent to our interest by the time we can get there. So, I mean, we're not constructing right now, and that is painful. That's very painful. But we're back to being positive. The crisis is now over. And we're going to have Central Archives done literally right now. Okay, beautiful. So we can get a Home Affairs institution investment? No, we can't. We're lacking a tech for that, I think. Okay, that's fine. I do want to go into society and I think work on central banking here. Getting rid of some of that interest rate would be beneficial for us. Oh, wow, look at that. 6.39. I mean, that's in part because our unrealized taxes got better. But we are definitely seeing the snowball start to roll. I love it. And honestly, we haven't even paid off that much of our debt. We are getting like an extra 500 per week out of interest right now. Magnificent. I absolutely love it. So yeah, this is looking great. This is looking really, really good. Our GDP is awkward, but it is growing, so that's fine. We're still expanding out over this way. I think we're going to run out of space in the Nile pretty soon. Let's take a look at our strategic region there. Yes, we're going to run out of space there pretty soon, and we should probably start thinking about going into the Congo region next. So we would need to go into our diplomacy, and we are still at 1 here for being an unrecognized regional power. We would have to do something about that. That said, with our economy getting stronger, it's an interesting option. And that option is we can become a military powerhouse as we enter recovery here. We can't do it immediately, obviously. But as we enter recovery. Cool. So we're at 8K right now, every week. And we're definitely seeing these interest payments drop. I love it. It's looking excellent. We've got this under control. So slavery banned has a 75% chance of passing here, and that'll be on February 11th. That looks amazing. I would love to ban slavery here, and we have a margin for if it does drop our economy at this point. So yeah, we're definitely seeing those production method changes taking effect here. I like it. We've gotten about 1K out of our interest now at this point. And most of our gains from here on out are likely to be from our private construction or from our interest payments. That said, I want to point something out. At this moment, if we were to resume our construction, 46.2K, and if I pin this open, 46.6K in interest. Beautiful. So that is looking excellent. I don't actually want to be constructing. Actually, do I? Just to finish that market access in Somaliland? It would be 8 weeks. Maybe. That would also finish up the dye plantation and the cotton plantation. But the primary goal would be to finish this railway. I think I'm going to continue to wait for right now. 89% market access here is rough. Let's see here. We can see the effect that this is having, of course, is infrastructure usage is higher than infrastructure. Yes, that is true. The effect of this is that we get like 89% throughput, right? And this is where the majority of our iron is. And so there's an argument to be made that that should happen. Perhaps after we finish banning slavery. We'll see what happens to our economy then. I do like paying down debt here, but we're about to have this kick here. We've got a 75% chance. And there we go. Beautiful. So 13.3K, that's definitely a lot better. And now I want to enact public schools. Absolutely. Do it. Only a 22% chance, but we're going. Can we get anything better in terms of our legitimacy? Our legitimacy is not great due to the landowners being, you know, tremendously angry. Let's see what we've got here. No, this is the best that we can do legitimacy-wise. Okay, so we're going to be a little slow on this, but that's fine. Okay, at this point, the argument can definitely be made to do this. If we had the authority to do a violent suppression here just to get that 20% construction efficiency down, that would be amazing. But we don't. So I think we're going to run this for just the 8 weeks. Yes, we're going to be building up our interest again, and oh, that's 300 per week. Okay, what's 300 times 8? 300 times 8 is like 2,400? Yeah, that should be acceptable. We're just going to finish the railway in Somaliland. That's it. And then we're going to go back to paying down the debt. I want to get that done. That will also mean that we end up finishing this dye plantation. Apparently, we're not going to finish this cotton plantation. Interesting. 27.2%. Yeah, I guess that would be right. Fascinating. Okay. All we're looking to do is finishing that railway. We did get a cotton plantation done, or a plantation. I forget what kind of plantation. But that's completely okay. We're going to get the railway done. And any moment now. Pause. Do we go one more week to get that cotton plantation done? Let's do it. Beyond that, I can't make the argument to get any of those, I don't think. Okay. Especially not with this quote-unquote revolution here. So this is, of course, the Oriental Orthodox Church. Okay. They've only got 66% radicalism at this point. So I don't think that's a realistic thing to happen. I don't think this revolution actually occurs here. We've only got a 20% chance of success here. But it would be very, very good to get public schools in so that we can really start cranking up the literacy. Now, I want to point out we are below our innovation cap. That is true. And I would like to do something about that, but at this moment, our national debt is the bigger problem. No doubt about that. Our interest payments are, to be clear, higher because we are currently an unrecognized nation. So becoming a recognized nation would be a good reason to do something here. So if we end up able to intervene in any of these and get that in there, I'm not sure if we can do that. Covert agitation. Actually, this is a good event. Yeah, we'll get some armed forces approval, and we'll change the progress of that civil war down. Excellent. We'll see what happens on this tick here. It could be good, it could be bad. It's hard to say. Hey, economy of scale building level cap. I like it. And some new production methods as well. New production methods are one of the single best ways to boost your economy. So I love it. That's looking good. We can go to mechanized workshops. Yes. We don't go to water tube boilers, of course. Any other production methods that we want here? Standardized filing system would reduce our income by a good amount. I feel like it's not necessary at this moment. And it would drive up the cost of paper. So for now, we'll hold off on that, and we will switch to it later. But right now, it seems okay. So let's see what happens on this public schools tick. What are these embargoes here? British Republic and Egypt? Okay. Is Egypt still unrecognized? They are. Noted. Okay, so we had a crooked connection here. Minus 20% enactment time, but the interest group would be unhappy. Do we want to keep the interest group happy or not? What are they at right now? They're at 11? 2 is not going to move them down another threshold. So I think that we take the enactment time reduction. That's going to bring up their radicalism a little bit. But I don't think it's going to creep up to 100. In theory. We'll see. We'll see. So that's all great, right? We're definitely seeing some economic boons from abolishing slavery. We're going to be done colonizing out over here very, very soon. Once we do that, could we remove our interest in the Nile region? A fort in a seat of anger. Servicemen pops would become more radical. Or officer pops. Okay, sure. That seems fine. I don't really care about this. This is going to be capped out at 66, right? So the maximum progress is 66 from the radicalism. So it seems okay. I don't think we're actually going to have a civil war there. So that's good. That's very, very good. We're making 13.8K right now, 47.4K in interest, so we're still paying down that interest that we racked up from completing the railway out over here. But completing that railway, I think it was quite important, because that gives us better access to the iron that we're producing here, right? So I think that would be a very good thing to do. But we definitely want to keep paying down this debt at this point, otherwise we're going to have an absolutely horrible economic crisis on our hands. So we need to pay down the debt. There's no way around it. We are going to have central banking done in 10 months, though. And that should be relatively decent. Austria declared Russia their rival? Sure. In the hands of the states, huh? The death of a martyr or political movement radicalism. Once again, this is not going to bring them down another tier. I believe the tier is every 5. So that seems okay. It seems completely okay. Hopefully we will pass this into consideration. Getting public schools would be really, really, really good for us. Our literacy is already doing okay. We're at 74 worldwide. Definitely improving it. And Equatoria is going to become an incorporated state relatively soon. But we're definitely doing much better economically now. I like it. Like, at this point, this has all been economic gains. We've barely cracked into our interest at this point. So this is looking really, really good. How much are we going to get out of our tech here? Well, actually quite a bit. We're going to end up getting about 3,360 out of minting. Approximately. I'm not sure if that stacks additively or multiplicatively, but one of those. And then our interest is going to drop by a pretty sizable chunk as well. Hey, this moved into consideration. Beautiful. So they're currently chilling at a nice level of radicalism here. I like it. And what do we got? The petite bourgeoisie, huh? They're demanding action now. But honestly, I think this is fine. What is their political strength right now? 4.5%. They are in opposition, but I think that's fine. The petite bourgeoisie are they in favor of this? Hang on. No. It is the intelligentsia and the trade unions. Okay. We can accommodate these demands. I think that's okay. Not a problem there. We should get rid of our monarchy quite soon. Because we're definitely playing this more like a democracy. No doubt about that. But that's fine. Absolutely fine. So I'm hoping at this point that public schools will just kind of fly straight through. That would be amazing. These guys, they are not making any progress. You can see here, they are still moving towards the checkpoint, right? But they're going to be capped here. It is causing radicalism every month, but that's to be expected while we're making these changes. Colonization of Equatoria is now officially done. So I want to hop into our state actions, and we will begin incorporating that. Then, I think that we should probably consider, for the time being anyway, dropping our... So we need to go into here. Dropping... Oh, we no longer have an interest in Nile. We have an established interest in Nile. Right, because we have territorial control in Equatoria. Cool. So I think now we go for Congo. And that'll take some time to establish. Yes. That's not too bad. It's like 3.5% per day. 20% every 3 days. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then we're going to be able to start some colonization down over this way. So that'll be great. What do we got here? 10% would become more radical. 5% of lower strata pops. And it's a 50-50. Wait, why is this at 83%? Minus 10% progress will be added at the next checkpoint. Okay, so I guess that's a little bit different. We probably... Man, these are not great odds. We'll let the procession go ahead. It went up to 93%. To be clear, we're not super scared if this does break out. but it should start going negative, and indeed it is, because it's above the maximum radicalism. So 10% authority, that's good. That, of course, allows us to, in theory, run another decree or another consumption tax. And a consumption tax here on, say, coffee makes a lot of sense, bringing us up to 24.9k. I love it. So now if we were to resume our construction, we'd be at minus 26k. That's pretty decent. Our Congo interest is now activated, so we want to start colonizing down over here. I want to colonize, I think... Let's see, this is being colonized by France right now. Why would this be... Oh, there's severe malaria out here. Are all of these severe malaria? They are. I didn't realize that. Okay, that's a big deal. Looks like we're already colonizing here, though, right? Yes. And we can also start colonizations in all of these locations, in theory. Granted, it's very, very slow. No doubt about that. Very, very, very slow. And the reason for that, of course, is because of the severe malaria. So that means that we should start going for malaria prevention down this way, which basically means we have to take nationalism into civilizing mission into malaria prevention. Okay, fair enough. So we can actually queue this up, which I've kind of not done in the past, but we can definitely do that. Cool. So that seems fine. Beautiful. Benin is now improving relations with us. This is very, very slow progress out here. I don't think we can increase our colonial affairs. No. And that's understood. So one thing I'm noticing here is these colonial growth numbers appear to be heavily reduced. Oh, we're actually colonizing down over here? That's hilarious. I love it. It's a very bad idea, but I love it. They appear to be spread over all of our existing colonies, so it's not more efficient necessarily to be doing this. That's noted. For now, it seems fine. We're definitely paying down our debt at a pretty large rate at this point. Progress of the Civil War minus 10%. I don't like the 5% devastation, but okay. We'll do it. Cool. And with that, it is time. Actually, before I put the cut in, let's see what happens with this public school roll. Well, actually, central banking came through literally right then. Sure. And what do we get here? Minus 15% enactment time. Landowners and the Oriental Church would be angry. Or enactment time. We'll take the reduced enactment time. These guys are getting increasingly angry, though. They're now at minus 16, but I think the next threshold is 20, so that'll be fine for now. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Andy Magar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.